Hey there, Delegate. Welcome to your Strategic Explainer briefing on Floor Committee 1. If you're gearing up for the 2026 LCMS Convention in Phoenix, Arizona, well, you're in exactly the right place. We're going to distill all that essential intelligence you need to evaluate the national witness materials currently sitting in your convention dossier. Basically, we're taking a massive haystack of paperwork and turning it into a clear, actionable dashboard.
So here's our game plan for today. We'll start with orientation and Committee 1 basics, move into an executive summary, apply our tactical kingdom over castle lens, dive into high priority mission items, and then wrap it all up with a master resolution inventory.
All right, Section 1, Orientation, and Committee 1, Basics. Let's establish our absolute baseline rules of engagement before we start reviewing these documents. Now, this is absolutely crucial. You've got to remember that everything we're reviewing today comes straight from today's business, Issue 1. What does that mean? It means these are merely baseline proposals from the floor committees. They are going to require later verification against subsequent daily issues, floor amendments, or substitute resolutions. So please note, the available documents do not show final convention action on this item. We are strictly looking at the starting line here, not the finish line. You are facing a literal haystack of 15 proposed resolutions. It's a ton of text, spanning from pages 57 to 68 in your packet. But hey, that's why we're doing this. Our goal with this explainer is to cut right through that noise. We want to figure out exactly how these items relate to the Board for National Mission, the Office of National Mission, and, most importantly, your local context. Moving right along to Section 2, Executive Summary of Proposals. Let's zoom out a bit and look at the broader landscape of the national witness themes proposed by the committee. If you read through the packet, the overarching theme here is unequivocally outward-facing gospel witness. The resolutions are heavily framed around Matthew 28, really pushing to connect word and sacrament ministry to actual neighborhoods. The committee is touching on the whole shebang, everything from church planting and youth catechesis to all nations ethnic ministry and digital outreach. It is a seriously mission-forward packet. Okay, Section 3, the kingdom over castle lens. To properly evaluate these proposals, we really need to adopt a specific analytical posture as you prep for floor debate. We're calling this the kingdom over castle lens. As you review these documents, you constantly need to ask yourself, do these measures genuinely empower local parishes, schools, and districts for outward witness? That's your kingdom focus. Or, on the flip side, do they merely fortify national bureaucratic control, demanding that congregations serve the synod structure? That's the castle focus. What we're really aiming for is low control, high accountability, and strong doctrine that actually fuels outward witness, rather than just inward institutional self-protection. Which brings us to Section 4, high priority mission items. Let's apply that kingdom lens right now and zoom in on the most consequential, mission-forward resolutions in the packet to see how they hold up. Take Resolution 107, for example. It encourages planting new churches at the parish level through preaching stations, supported by existing congregations and pastors. Talk about an incredibly kingdom-focused goal, right? It directly addresses the need for new word and sacrament ministry in underserved regions, relying heavily on local, ground-level initiative rather than just top-down programming. But here's the thing, as a delegate, you have to evaluate the practical effects. A great goal needs a great strategy to back it up. You should be ready to ask some distinct, pointed questions on the floor about accountability, like what numerical goals are we actually setting here? How will these new plans be sustained locally? Are there clear reporting expectations? And if the Office of National Mission is partnering in this, who is actually paying for that support? It gets even more interesting when we compare the structural and financial outlays requested for different contexts. Resolution 106 looks at urban contexts and anticipates $30,000 annually in corporate contract labor to support those schools and congregations. Contrast that approach with Resolution 112, which focuses on campus ministry. That campus ministry resolution, 112, requests an anticipated $200,000 annually to reinstate a full-time Office of National Mission staff position, plus travel and incidental costs. Now, obviously, college campuses are major mission fields, but as a delegate, this is a pretty hefty structural and financial outlay that you've got to weigh carefully. Does a national expenditure like this best serve the local mission field? And practically speaking, is it sustainable? Beyond just the finances, there's a clear strategic and theological progression happening in the committee's work. It starts with distinction keeping, confessing God's design for the family in 111, and addressing cultural apologetics and idolatry in 110. But it doesn't stop at defense.
That strong doctrinal stance fuels practical, outward-facing youth ministry in 109 and sets the stage for Resolution 102, which is the massive Catechism 500 initiative, preparing the Synod for 2029. It's honestly a brilliant flow from confession to catechesis right out into mission. Finally, Section 5, Master Resolution Inventory. To help you mentally organize all of this for the convention floor, let's categorize these targets.
This setup brilliantly illustrates the signal over the noise. It helps you quickly separate the routine items from the high scrutiny ones. Resolutions focusing on Thanksgiving, like 101 for All Nations Ministry, 103 for Black Ministry, and 104 for Deaf Ministry, are beautiful encouragements and very likely candidates for the consent calendar. But those resolutions that carry significant financial impacts or assert crucial doctrinal confessions in the public square, those absolutely require your high-priority study and potential floor debate. So, as you prepare your floor strategy and review this dashboard, Delegate, I want to leave you with this ultimate pastoral question. Do these resolutions truly empower your local ministry fruitfulness? Respectful mission conversation is fantastic, but national witness work must actually help congregations proclaim Christ crucified and risen to the actual neighbors living right outside your church doors. Keep that kingdom lens sharp, and you'll be more than ready for Phoenix.